All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe. It is week number 261 of our series. Glad to have you all here with us. My name is Rick Lupert. I'm your MC. Tonight, in addition to our open reading, our featured reader is Shockie G. Shockie, really excited that you are here with us. We're all looking forward to what I'm sure is going to be an awesome reading from you. So stand by for Shockie G, everyone. Shockie, stand by for yourself. If you will. If you'd like to read and you haven't already done so, send me a message in the chat and I will be happy to add you to the list. If you are on the list, you get to read up to two poems maximum. And as always, less is more is the suggested time limit. We do have a one drink minimum here at the Cobalt Cafe. Make sure you honor that long-standing tradition in any way that you personally feel comfortable doing that. And finally, make sure you have the chat room open so that way you can interact with each other since everyone is muted throughout the festivities otherwise. I believe that is everything I need to tell you. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them. Finn Bell, yes.
Hey Rick, good evening. So I was wondering, do you think that salt and vinegar potato chips and mango ice cream combined together are a good idea?
Um, I don't know that I could definitively say that's a good idea, but I think a mixture of salt and sweet is often a good idea. And I'd be willing to try it and find out for myself.
Cool beans. Thanks.
Sure, no problem. Thank you. Martin, yes.
Good evening, Rick. I was just wondering tonight if you've ever used a ceramic kitchen knife.
Yes. Yes, I have. We have a set of a few different sizes of ceramic kitchen knives. Addie prefers that when we use those, that we don't just wash it and leave it in the dish dryer. We have to dry it and put it away nicely. Um, and I find it's not good for cheese. So when I'm making my salad for lunch and I want to chop up some cheese, I need to use the other knife, the stainless steel knife, which then just frustrates me because I don't really want to use two knives to make a salad, so I just end up using that one.
Yes, I love my ceramic knives, but there are certain things they don't work for, but they keep sharp for years. I still have one I got 25 years ago.
Wow, that's quite a lifetime on these things, Martin. You've given me hope. Thank you so much. Round of applause. That was just a question. No need to applause. I suppose you could applause him if you want. Applause him. That's not even the way that you say that. Uh, I acknowledge your question, Martin. Any other questions? Cathabella, yes.
What comes to your mind, Vic, when I say the big event?
So many things, and now I'm scared that I missed it. Did I miss it? Is it happening now? Should we have canceled tonight in deference to the big event? Oh no. Yeah, I mean that's what initially comes to my mind, that I may have missed it.
Imagine, I know.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right. Thank you, Cathabella. Any other questions before we get going? I see no other questions. I guess we're gonna get going then. Okay. Here are the first five readers in case you're curious about that. Bill Gaines, Martin Parker, Marilee Johnson, Denise Dumars, and Ike Waltz. Then our featured reader, then the rest of the open reading. Martin Parker, you are on deck. Please welcome now Bill Gaines. Hello, Bill.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be the opening act. Let's go. I have two for tonight. Our first one is called Emo Alien. It goes like this. They sent out hope, but received despair. The dish reports no joy. Cut the funding. The funding is for optimists. We haven't got the time. The minutes and the years, they fly by as one. And look at us tonight, waiting by the phone for the cosmic call, yearning for connection, drowning in hope for a Valentine sweet, but hearing only a sad little song. End of piece. And then the other one is called The Pressure. So few years, yet so weary the soul. A century blooms on a town like a seasoned rock. Its busy critters repeating, repeating. New pathways, new rewards, always in flux, yet always the same. The pressure illusion is not something felt. The pressure is time itself. And geological ages pass in the tiniest slices of life. End of piece.
Well, now you have us all introspective and nostalgic about things that haven't even happened yet, Bill.
Big events that haven't happened yet.
Right. That's the theme, apparently. Big events that haven't happened yet. Bill, thank you so much for opening up the reading. Nice job. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Bill Gaines. On deck is Marilee Johnson. Please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. I have a couple poems here tonight. This first one is called Wandering Through the Forest. I lose myself some part of each day in chopping out rhythms with ceramic on wood. Or is bamboo really more of a grass whose roots take over more than planned? I find myself musing on the shapes of sounds can take when etched on bamboo or stone, as minerals bend the light in ways that tell my brain just one more word, till I lose track of the time of night, a fool who's trying to find his path. And then this is one called Ventricles. I search for the key to a sacred door that leads me to stride on the forest floor amid the calls of owls at night who silently soar in nocturnal flight. The words within reverberate inside these hidden chambers where emotions reside until I learn to set them free and let new dreams awaken in me. And I'll put my usual links in the chat for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. More existentialism going on here. Fools, just a fool trying to find his path. We may not exist by the end of this reading, as best as I can tell, based on what we've heard so far. So we'll find out, though. I'll let you know. Existence Watch 2025 is live and happening now. Martin, thank you for your reading. Round of applause for Martin Parker. On deck, Denise Dumars. Please welcome now Marilee Johnson. Hello, Marilee.
Hi, thank you very much, Rick. And as I've already held up once, but other people may have come in. This is Rick's book. You should all buy it. It's really good. It's called High Moose Alert. Anyway, so on to my stuff. The first one was published recently by Alien Buddha for their issue Alien Buddha Loves You Too, and it's called Look Deep Into My Thighs. Look deep into my thighs. I mean, eyes. I know this is a cockamamie tale. Last night your eyes shone brightly in my flashlight's glare. Put that darn thing down, you yelled, pushing your fingers against your closed eyelids as if to push darkness further into your skull. But you and I both know there is mostly light inside of you, which makes it hard for you to sleep. But that works out fine since I need a sleep clinic, but only remember quarterly that I need to make an appointment and then I forget again. So we're semi-awake together between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. Sometimes we amuse ourselves by playing strip tiddlywinks, wink wink, which makes it tempting to throw the game and expose myself as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Sometimes it seems like you'd rather work backward and add pieces of clothing on your turns, which is kind of a way of saying you're not in the mood, But I try to convince myself that you don't really like playing tiddlywinks, and maybe you'd take better to strip cribbage instead. What a drag. Cribbage is just moving pegs around a board, and if we play that, sometimes one of us takes the other down a peg. But I can't even remember the rules, how to play. Cribbage, that is. I can well remember how to play in my provocative t-shirt and a bra size small. I would never want to wear nipple clamps, and I doubt you would either, cribbage being too slow moving. So why did this ever come up for me to imagine what I don't want to do? And is this a stale mate or a checklist of attractions not coming? Um, and now I will do a very, very short piece, hopefully a humorous piece. If you take your dentures out and put them in a glass of water on your nightstand, lie down on your side of the bed, then peer through the glass of teeth to see your partner over by the closet, and you tell a little white lie about how sexy she looks in flannel, can you be said to be lying through your teeth? Thank you very much for your tolerance.
Mary Lee, thank you very much. First of all, for highlighting my book. It's quite an honor to have it in your hands. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You've given us a lot to think about. Strip tiddlywink, strip cribbage. You reminded me that actually next week is Strip Cobalt, where every time I mispronounce a word, you all have to take off an item of clothing. So it's just the theme for next week. Think about it. It's going to be a fun night. And Marilee, nice to have you in this space.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fun work. Round of
Thanks.
applause for Marilee Johnson. Please come back, Marilee. Two more readers than our featured reader, Shockie G. Ike Waltz, you are on deck. Please welcome now Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hi. Boy, I was printing out some poems today that were getting pretty dark, and I decided, no, I can't do that to you guys tonight. So I chose a couple that are not quite so dark. First one is a short one. It's called Cut Flowers. The plants in this neighborhood do not make good cut flowers. Yellow and pink hibiscus, ruby begonias, blue hydrangeas, and more. Xeriscaping, maybe. Tough, but wilting off the vine or closing altogether, like the passion flowers in the park. Some things just don't want to be cut. You go to them, they don't come to you. This one is a little amusing thing on magic and aging. It's called Senior Moment. I've forgotten the skein and the thurible, tripped over something that might have been a robe. Were we supposed to wear robes tonight? Do I even have the right century, the right phase of the moon? Which moon, you say, and laugh. Oh, yes, and I checked the star charts. I've forgotten the speech of Serval and I, stirred the brew until gold turns to red, fearing it was supposed to be the other way around. And the cold was as cold as my, what body part again? I've forgotten the scepter and the scourge, the receptacle for the milk of Eon, and the faded puce suns that explode in my cranium, with the manipulations of Zionetta's theorem and the disconnect of the link. Communication ended. Vacuous, uneducated braying toads. I've forgotten the arms that used to speak, long, beautiful fingers in their swirls of white sparks in the sky. Tell us now, they ask me. But I've forgotten the signs, and the stiffness of my aged vibrissae help me not. Forgive me. What was the question? Thank you.
Fun, Denise. Thank you very much. By the way, this must be just a remarkable coincidence, but the phrase "some things just don't want to be cut" was printed on the invitation to my circumcision. So, what are the odds? Denise, thank you so much for being here. Great job. On deck is our featured reader, Shockie G. Please welcome now Ike Waltz. Hello, Ike.
Hello. Gaps and spaces. It's all about nothing, yet it's about wording and abstract painting, where gaps become dominant spaces. Finding colors, I tend to forget. The canvas, innocence. There's a space and there's a gap. And I mean that emptiness of the in-between, speechless, unbreakable, a puff of air, breath talking we ever even share. There's a cleavage where the mind stands still, yet everybody in between pays a bill. Nothing to say when stones change direction, a moment to pray between that repeating repeat. An existence only the invisibility of time. Blue grass dance. Space between words agree, otherwise let the gap breathe. Only a common blurb, a word as a blip in uncontrolled space does create nothing but poetic waste. Neither script italic nor bold, something remains just untold. But there's a space between words, there's a gap between you and me, there's a gap between teeth, there's a space between locks and keys and oversized buttocks. When faces want to visit me, meeting open such disparity that a gap is evident between you and me. If it's there for everybody to obey, but contains a nothing to see. Celestial distance, countless in digits, points in an unimaginable direction, forever lost in time, at least for me. Yellow happiness. Is it the tick that spaces every talk? A calculated something emptiness contained in an encrypted gap? Inside my ever so reminding clock, we frame words in pompous baroque. We make points surrounded by gaps as if we are afraid to block our vision into the abyss, leaving blank decisions in the hands of future obits. Regeneration in space? That's it. Green hope. I put thoughts into gaps in space. Is there space between gaps? How large is the gap between space? Help me. Help. Is there a gap in space? Is there space between space? Is there a gap between gaps? All right, time will find out about that unknown gap of all gaps inside an atom of a single zap. Or is it that limited space in time no hole in a gap can define? And there, gaps and gazes with a trace of human faces? Are we alone? Unless the gap is our magic, a trace of space in the universe? Precious gold. My limited horizon keeps history repeating. Have I gone mad? Whichever language I want to please, I find space in binary technology, a code that has no gap, yet operates a lot in a universe of unlimited space. That creation of artificial intelligence, a slap in my sarcastic face. Yes, we have a gender gap we face. We even fear to provide space for our multi-race. We have a race card we play, and who of us really holds the ace in our creative human space? Blooded red? Yes, between words there is a space, or is it a gap, or is it something more exciting like a cleavage, like these Kardashian buttocks? What would it be? It depends what your mind wants to see. And meanwhile, I park my car in a legal space, a gap between by time and regulation, so annoying to me. So, if you please, don't waste my allocated gap in space. And in the race of imagination, it's the cleavage that heats both sides of the gender gap. Or did I infringe in that proverbial Me Too space? Dark waking. And now you can face my imaginary abstract. It's our Second Amendment that hangs on a rusty nail, answers hiding inside gaps and spaces. You can't even sleep next to it. Look at our ever so lifeless bedroom wall. Our beds are covered with gaps and spaces, and the Second Amendment fucks us all. Thank you.
Indeed, Ike, thank you so much. Great piece, fun to listen to, and important things being said as well. Thanks for being here. A round of applause for Ike Waltz. Thank you, Ike. All right, on deck after our featured reader will be Christopher Bogart, which leads us now to our featured reader, Shockie G. Shockie is a person who got on my radar, perhaps all of our radar, when she showed up here at Cobalt Poets. I think it was earlier this year, and participated in the open mic and gave a reading of just one poem or so that immediately had me put them on the list, if you know what I mean. Shockie, we're really happy that you made a point of being here earlier and that got to hear your work, because I'm really looking forward to hearing a full set of work from you. In minutes, Shockie G is a poet and spoken word artist uh, um, who is known for blending elements of street culture with introspective ideas as well. A lot of Shockey's work reflects complexities of things like identity, struggle, and triumph, with a voice that resonates both on paper and in performance, which isn't always the case with people who read really well. Cool to have both of those things under your belt. A cool thing, Shaggy actually participated in a slam earlier tonight. So she's double dipping in the poetry world, an accomplished writer, an author of a book, which we'll talk about a little bit later, a performance poet, a great writer, and really happy to have you here tonight. Please welcome our featured reader, Shaki G. Hello, Shaki.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I hope I live up to your your thoughts there. So I have a few pieces, a little bit of everything here. Um, I'm just gonna get started. Ike, it's great to hear you. I haven't heard you in a while, so I'm happy to see that you're doing okay. All right. They call me a poet, but they don't realize I am a zombie emerging from the morgue. If you look close, I may seem like the book of Revelations, just death and destruction. But the thing about poets is we make the apocalypse look good. We focus on the rose growing out of the ash and not the ash itself. Speak of the dancing of the fire and not its burning, how we dress grief in its Sunday's best. So the funeral looks like a homegoing, a vacation instead of a final frontier. We kiss in eulogy, make love in confessional. We treat life like a haiku, short and powerful. How we write our own bars and call it a life sentence. They call me a poet because they do not know the Grim Reaper's real name. But they see me hold my pen like a scythe and leave my bodies out in the open. I've made gardens out of graveyards, planting grief and watching it bloom into a poem. I hope you smell the roses more than the decay. I mix patchouli with my ink, but I'm afraid the stench is just as bad. I'm just a corpse masquerading as a poet, haunting the corridors of your mind. I hope you're not afraid of the dark. And I really hope so, because some of these poems are pretty dark today. So, we were talking about existentialism, so I threw this into the feature as well. If life is a river, this is a whitewater rafting experience, careening toward a waterfall at the edge of the world. Control the boat so it does not capsize, or fuck it, capsize. Take your chance at swimming to shore. This is the apocalypse. Pay your rent in case we survive another month. Or, better yet, buy a tent. Go off grid. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Chase mountains instead. Summit. Watch the world burn. Take pictures. Hide your extinguisher. I don't think you can put out the fires in hell. Someone would have done it by now. Roast marshmallows over a smoldering civilization. Pretend it's a sacrifice. Pretend religion matters at all at the end of this crusade. Remember, when we restart civilization, if we decide to, tell everyone it is J.D. Vance's fault for killing the Pope. Rewrite history, throw all the holy books into the fire, and tell everyone J.D. Vance did it. Call him the Antichrist or make him the new Jesus. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters at the end of the world. Not even the angry tweets between scorned billionaires exposing everything we already know about. They never told me at the end of the world, we'd all be begging for it. The thing to take from that is that J.D. Vance killed the Pope. Make sure you tell everyone. All right. So these pieces are going to be a little bit heavy. They are about addiction, alcoholism. So don't tell nobody. Hope I can trust you guys. I killed a man last night. It's not the first time. See, sobriety has been sneaking into my bedroom, taking advantage of the monsters under my bed. I helped him bury the bodies in my subconscious, and now they haunt the spaces my halo is supposed to cover. If you look close, you can still see the dirt under my fuck you fingernails. Me in sobriety, but on a killing spree, serial killing time and cutting off its hands so you can't identify the body. I am the antithesis of Jesus. I turn wine back into water in hopes that my liver don't crucify me. I spent a week in Tennessee and didn't even taste the whiskey, but I swallowed pride that burned going down with an I think I love you chaser. You might find my ego buried there near the river in a shallow grave because rock bottom was a little too close to the surface. We buried my depression in a pet cemetery. And he keeps coming back. And I swear he is the Michael Myers of mental illness. My sobriety claims he's harder to kill than my addiction. Self-medicating murder is better than suicide, and I've been on a killing spree to keep myself alive. I'm a selfish nobody dressed in black, building a graveyard in my floorboards. You could judge me, but my bodies are too fresh for closets. If your skeletons were decomposing like mine, you would hide them better. There's enough room in the backyard after digging up your family secrets. I know, because that's where sobriety told me to stop burying myself. Nothing grows from a decaying body besides regret. We would know. We planted another one last night. But if anyone asks, tell them I'm healing. Tell them I'm just fine. I'm finally leaning into sobriety. Sticking with the same theme. Once, I made a church out of a whiskey bottle, each morning praying to a porcelain god, prayers unanswered. I fell in love with spirits, which is to say, I caught the holiest of ghosts, my Father, who art in heaven, or probably never made it. Handed down his addiction like stone tablets, standing on the mountain of my adolescence, sobriety, slithering its way through my garden of inebriation, selling coping skills as if it were the knowledge of good and evil. Convince me, if I surround myself with angels, then I must be in heaven. Like all of us ain't fallen, or close to it. Stumbling our way through the pews of this church, see, language is a funny thing. To a Christian, I've never been baptized. So I've never been saved. But I have been drunk on holy water. Drank communion wine till I was covered in blood. Woke up next to Mercy dressed as Mary Magdalene, and ain't that the same? I held my wedding in a graveyard, liver screaming until death do us part. It sounds more like threat than vow. My friends keep saying I lost God. The church meets on Thirsty Thursday. See, they mistaken beer pong for Bible study, slurred speech for sermon, the lines in their suicidal wrists for stigmata. They don't understand how close the bottom of a bottle is to 6 feet deep, but they ask me, how can I be atheist when I know God exists? I tell them I won't pray to a God that prefers me on my knees, that the hangovers don't feel like resurrection, and no matter how much Red Bull I pour into the vodka, it will never give me my wings. See, I've been trying to turn this body back temple from a dive bar because I'm tired of building churches out of glass bottles as weak as my faith. And yeah, I found God in all the places he wasn't supposed to be and lost myself. So now I'm just trying to make a space for the both of us. And I stumbled onto this stage and I made this stage a church. And won't the church say, Amen? All right. So we're going to get into some heartbreak. Stop complaining about my addictions. My latest book, Exit Wounds, has to do with love or something like that. It's called Bullets and Butterflies. So it's talking about all different forms of love. And this is one of the poems from it. When I'm alone, I never think of you. In fact, this poem is not about you or thoughts or loneliness. It's about the ghosts you left behind in the corridors of my cerebral cortex. And everyone knows ghosts bring friends because misery loves company. So my depression dresses itself in your hand-me-downs, echoing the memory of your voice. Sometimes I find myself yelling at walls that still smell like your perfume. If they could talk, I wouldn't even listen, couldn't even care, shouldn't even miss you. And I don't. I never think of you. I put your laughter on a funeral pyre and watched it burn. We weren't a good match anyway, just enough of a spark to cremate happiness, scattered the ashes across my Appalachian heart. I swear, I've carried the bodies of so many dead relationships. I can't tell the difference between myself and a hearse. We're both big, black, and dead inside. Procession of past lovers dressed in apology. I am not sorry I don't think of you. Even when your specter makes spectacle of my failed expectations, when I am alone, I perform seances and exorcism, trying to rid the space of all the haunted horrors. And I wake up outside with a halo made of salt, a shell of myself. And I am the ghost you left behind. So this is not about you. It is a eulogy for a broken heart, still beating itself up, a poltergeist plagiarizing passion. Never regret, and never the reflection you made on this broken mirror life. In 7 years' time, I won't remember you. And when I'm alone, I won't think of you. This is the titular, I think I'm saying that right, titular piece from that book, Bullets and Butterflies. Modern day Cupid carries an AK-47, bullets that burst into butterflies in the stomach, caterpillars cocooning into the crevices of capillaries. My love looks like a heart beating itself up, bloody and bruised. See, this is not to say that love should hurt, just that I have been dying for a chance to be with you. The ecosystem of my gut biome flutters so hard it triggers my anxiety. Is this a crush or a panic attack? Both give me sweaty palms and take my breath away. Maybe it's my asthma, but I really think it's your beauty. And when these hands shake, I hope you pick up on the vibes. You got me making payments to Cupid for a hitman. because I'm afraid to shoot my own shot, but I'll ride shotgun through the city for you. I got an alibi in my pocket waiting for you to scribble your number across it. If I'm guilty of anything, it is burying the bodies of relationships before they had the chance to bloom. Butterflies and bullets blossoming in this body like a bouquet. I hope you smell the roses. Hold me like your favorite flower. Pick apart my petals, questioning, she loves me, she loves me not. Because I do. I've got the exit wounds to prove it. So please, pull me into the trauma unit that is your heart and let us heal Cupid's wrath together. Do not leave me to bleed out on this stage alone. Another casualty of love. If I go over time, just give me that little Apollo hook, it's cool. All right. It's slightly erotic. Men ask why I like women. But what they mean is, why do I hate men? Because everything in the patriarchy exists in a binary. I tell them this world is so ugly and women still have the nerve to be fucking beautiful. He asks if I think men are the problem. And I say, I don't think about men because that's the point. I'm a mountain peak type top who's never met a man who wanted his ankles to touch his ears and call me daddy. But I know a few housewives that call when he's at work to see if I'm busy. I'd feel guilty if my post-nut clarity wasn't cloudy and camera shy. We've been fucking in dark rooms, hoping to develop a relationship, and we just end up exposed. Focus. My love for women never came riding on a man's pale horse. Rather, because she's a stallion with Megan's knees, ready for a rodeo, and I got a mechanical bull tongue she can ride till she falls off. If she does it right, I might lasso her ring finger. I was born this way. And I know you want me to say a man pushed me over the edge, but the truth is, I saw a woman at the bottom, all trampoline booty and water slide between her thighs, and I jumped. All right, last piece here. Yes, this is the last piece. This is a new piece. I just wrote this yesterday. But there's racial undertones, just so I don't, if that's your trigger. In the early stages of dementia, some individuals have confusion and sleeplessness in the late evening hours. This is referred to as sundowning, not to be confused with a sundown town, where Black folks were advised to leave town before the late evening hours, lest they be met with violence. Sundowners begin to forget little things. Where's my keys? What day is it? Who are you? But they remember that niggas ain't supposed to be there at night. Mima can't hold her bowels, but hold on to her hatred like a Bible. That boy in the corner there keep whistling at me. She remembers the lie, but not why she told it. Left the truth in the Tallahatchie with the body and only one resurfaced. Mima sees the ghost of racist past. That boy there, his sisters had the nicest dresses. So I made sure they had a funeral to wear them to. When I die, bury me in the most beautiful dress. Casket sharp enough to break the silence. Let my repast be a picnic, like the good old days. I like my dark meat with a little char. Don't worry, Mima is sundowning again. She can't sleep because she sees all the blacks who wronged her when she closes her eyes, and suddenly the nursing home becomes a sundown town where the sundowners can't remember their own kids, but can't forget the babies hanging before their eyes. Don't you let that lady touch me. I done told you I only need a white doctor. She's afraid the staff will seek revenge for their ancestors. It's funny, there's always a deathbed confession, but no apology. It's as if the racists come out at night, daydreaming of days past, and somewhere around like 8 p.m., this poem began to sundown, remembering all the things America wants us to forget. Like a sundown country who brought black folk here to work in the summer sun, but don't expect them to still be there when the sun go down. And somehow, It always forgets who it is, but doesn't forget its racism. And I'm supposed to have a sunny disposition, early stages of dementia, when your Mima forgets my name and calls me nigger instead. Waging war, don't pay me enough to keep the sun from setting, so whether the sundown is a town or a country or a person, just know I held on as long as I could, but I refuse to let the sun beat me home. If my time is correct, we're at about like 14 minutes, so I think that's good.
Shockey, we could probably listen to you all night. It was really good. I'm always like listening for lines that I think are clever or interesting or powerful and typing them in my little note here so I can refer back to them. And I had to stop doing it because there were just too many. But the first few I got to, the thing about poets is you make the apocalypse look good. That's a heavy responsibility to lay on us, but we'll take it. Really good. Important information about J.D. Vance killing the Pope. We appreciate that. I'm gonna make a note of that and write to CNN and ask why they're not covering it. Uh, Turned wine back into water. Well done. The Michael Myers of mental illness. That works on so many levels. I love that you closed with a new piece. A lot of of justified confidence doing that. It was really good. I mean, overall, I mean, your work is strong, sometimes funny, like deeply human. Thank you for taking us to church, if I may paraphrase what you said. It was just fantastic. I'm gonna paste some stuff in the chat. There we go. And I'm going to share the screen and show the broadside I made for the poem that you sent me. You can download this now, this broadside, at the Cobalt Poets website. Pasted the link in the chat. It's an 11 by 17 print you can have, look at, refer back to, print out if you'd like, whatever you would like. I hope that you'll consider compensating or tipping, I should say, Shockie for her reading. You can do that if you have Cash App. Shockie's Cash App is right there. You can also donate via credit card right on her website, which is also pasted into the chat. And you'll find there on Shockie's website a link to pick up the book that she mentioned as well. Exit wounds right there. So all of those are really fantastic ways to let Shockie know that you dug what she did and to tip her. So there you go. Man, that was really good, Shockie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for listening. I'm excited to hear everyone else. So thank you.
Yeah, please come back and surprise us in the open reading sometimes because I know we're gonna love hearing more from you in the many years to come here at Cobalt Poets. Thank you, Shockie G. A round of applause for our featured reader, Shockie G.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, before we get to the rest of tonight's open reading, I will just quickly mention next week our featured reader is Ted Robinson, a poet who was recommended to me by the writer Eric Campbell. Todd Robinson will be with us next week, a week from today. In addition to the open reading, we're going to have the rest of tonight's open reading now. Here's who I have on the list. If anyone isn't on this list or if I missed you signing up, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to add you. Christopher Bogart, Linda V.E. Crawford, Nathan Horowitz, Heather Romero Kornblum, Sean Mahoney, The Collab, Cathabella, Jackie Siggy, and Chris, Julian Matthews, Jennifer Elise Wang, Michael G. Hickey, Antonietta Villamil, Heidi Casa, Ed Foreman, Caleb, Dig Wayne, and me. Let me know if I missed anyone. As a reminder, or as new information, if you came after we started, it's a 2 poems maximum. Less is more is the suggested time limit. There you go. That's everything I need to tell you. Linda V.E. Crawford, you are on deck. Please welcome now Christopher Bogart. Hello, Christopher.
Hi, Rick. I just wanted you to know that you normally have a 1 drink minimum, and this time I brought alcohol. So, fun night was had by all. I'm going to read I'm only going to read one poem, and it's a very rough draft, and I'm still working on it. But I don't know whether you've heard what happened today, but Beto O'Rourke is going around the country trying to raise money for the Democrats who have left the state rather than give the governor of Texas quorum. I don't know whether you've been following that, but I can tell you this, that Paxton, their district attorney today, put out a warrant for Beto's arrest. I guess you can't raise money for people that they don't like. Anyhow, this is what I'm going to be reading now, and it's called The Gun is Mightier Than the Sword. Here's a lesson that the Democrats really need to learn well. It's a lesson Indiana Jones knew, but from Democratic antics, one can barely tell whether they finally know now what Indy once learned in the marketplace where he faced that bad guy with the black robe and the black face mask and a very, very sharp saber, that a sword is no match for a gun. There are those who will talk, I was told in my youth, and then there are those who will act. So it's time to stop talking. 'Cause talking is cheap. It's time for the doing. Too late for the suing. Don't wait for the fascists to carry out their rashest of threats. Time to act. 'Cause those bad guys in the marketplace, this time those same ones now have white robes and white hoods, and are now sporting white ice all over their chests, and armed to the teeth, not with sabers but guns, and they're backed up now with 10,000 uniformed National Guard. It's time to rethink your strategy, but rethinking does not mean running. When you hit a bully with one swift, hard punch, connecting your fist with the bridge of his nose, that one punch is all you'll need. So throw the Marquis of Queensberry rules to the curb, leave the cutlery in the kitchen drawers, and take advantage for once for what the NRA has been preaching and preaching forever. Time to pick up instead a copy of the U.S. Army Field War Manual 21-150, but this is no longer an exchange of ideas. This is war. Now, I'm not suggesting that the answer is violence. But the answer definitely isn't to flee or to take a knee. The answer is simply to fight. Fight with the weapons that are at your disposal. When cowboy fascists want to gerrymander 5 congressional seats in Texas, then gerrymander the hell out of blue California, out of Hawaii, out of Maine, out of blue Massachusetts and Delaware, out of Connecticut and Rhode Island, Colorado, New York, New Jersey, and Washington too. Do it now. Gerrymander so much you'll make Elbridge Gerry blush. Thank you.
Fighting the good fight with words, Christopher. Well done. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Christopher Bogart. On deck, Nathan Horowitz. Please welcome Linda V. Crawford. Hi, Linda.
Hi, thank you so much. If I can screen share, it's not ekphrastic, but I think it's easier if seen. Thank you. So I'm going to read a couple of poems. This first one I wrote earlier this year in a reaction to thousands of words that were banned from government websites. You know, the madness was beginning, things were falling apart. And I'm going to be reading words that I always say, don't read what you can't pronounce, but what the hell. So I am a banned word. What shall I call myself in a time of woe? Shall I be man without woe? Whiffman, hide my banned word womb in old English. Hide my woman, kazi, mujer, femme, manamke, frau, Imra, Tuan, Jose, Ushi, Senjina, hide my pregnant person, halt the continuum of disparity and injustice rampaging through government pages, emanating from government mouths. Can I defeat the oppression of government barriers, face the inequitable, biased ideology historically inflicted by government wounds? Can I speak while at risk, still call myself woman? And I do have to comment that I noticed man was not a banned word and white was not a banned word, but black, woman, goes on and on and on. So, but with so much chaos, that's fallen off the list of the things we are frantically reacting to. This second poem is just a shorter, older poem. It's in my Washing Water collection. Shedding the vernacular. Neck shackles and whips. That's why Ubuntu dimmed crossing the seas. Why you is wanna. How tree hid in Caribbean cane fields, then crossed to birth Geechee amongst blows of cotton fields. How gwine and gine and gurgle long, sashayed into your bad self. How we jived back across the ocean to hold hands with a man la. Away to spirits unbowed, shedding the vernacular. Thank you. That's it for me. And I'm glad my Zoom held out this evening since it didn't a couple of weeks ago. Thank you.
We're all glad for that, Linda. Thank you so much. Great title of that first piece, especially I Am a Banned Word. Well done. Good work. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Round of applause for Linda V.E. Crawford. On deck, Heather Romero Kornblum. Please welcome Nathan Horowitz. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. Shockie, wow, fantastic, beautiful stuff. Thank you for your excellent work. One piece from me tonight. This is called A Poet Should Know. Bare tree black as a mourner's sash. Broad sky gray as a corpse's ash. A poet should know these things. Buses honk in the valley below. At a certain point, the air turns cold. But here at the kitchen table, it's so peaceful. Spirits feed you watermelon in the dark. They rhyme lemons with sunlight, hands with moon. A poet should know these things. Can a word crack stone? Can it fracture a moment like a cat's cradle that melts into the ribbiting of frogs? Can it chant solar syllables like lipstick on a napkin, tire tracks in slush, or the superannuated sun? A poet should know these things. Clad in shiny brown armor, like samurai bats manufactured by Vespa, cicadas will strike up a vigorous drone. Cool clouds will slide across a blue patch of sky. You'll still be crouching on that same old trail crisscrossed with bamboo, asking yourself, what is power? Does sorrow feed the dead? Why is the world woven together with spells? And how can we save democracy? A poet should know these things.
If someone knows, I hope they speak up. But I think you've given us a good starting list of things that we should at least get on top of. And perhaps that will lead to the answer we've all been looking for in the last imperative that you gave us. Nathan, well done.
It's impossible, but we can hope. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Nathan Horowitz, everyone. Round of applause for Nathan. On deck, Sean Mahoney. Please welcome now Heather Romero Kornblum. Hello, Heather.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so grateful to be here. And man, Shockie, you blew my mind, seriously. And everybody's just it's been so amazing tonight. I'm going to read the first poem is in Stone Worlds, the online, uh, one of the online journal editions from Four Feathers Press. And yeah, it's kind of been a response to a favorite poem of mine. Response to Jane Hirschfield's Rebus. And this is a quote from her poem. You work with what you are given. And then she ends, how can I enter this question that clay has asked? Like Jane, I answered the call of the clay. I molded and worked with everything. Clay of regret, clay of grief, clay of gratitude. They all called me. When given sugar, I sweetened. Given salt, grew salty. I became my choices, shaped them, escaped one to land with another. That is the thing about clay. It is slippery, treacherous. You need to watch it to make sure it dries in the shape you left it in. I rushed to mold clay before it dried. Year on year, I couldn't part with clay I misshaped. Once dry, clay needs to be broken again and wetted to be reshaped. Why do I think it is less painful for the clay than for me? I prefer to break the clay. This is how I answered the question the clay has asked. So that's the first poem. And the second poem I'm going to read from my new chapbook, I'm Not Over You. Also, we'll be reading this at the La Manda Park Branch Library in Pasadena this Saturday at 3 p.m. If anybody's around. And if you were here last week, you heard Ghost Circa 2023, The Bad Patch in 2023. And this is Ghost Circa 2025, the couple poem to that one. Ghost Circa 2025. I tried to revive the ghost of my marriage again. It didn't work yet this time. I still found myself talking in swollen tongues, chanting, whispering, over the carcass of what I thought was created by two people who took vows. I did not breathe life into this marriage all by myself, but I made myself into glue, gooey and squishy and likely to ruin the laundry. No core to me anymore. When my core was gone, my husband fell apart. He didn't understand the swollen tongues. I became his lab rat. With each experimental failure, he worked himself up to leave me, forget about me, never think about me again. I learned that everything ultimately comes from dust. That's why glue is so necessary. We are all talking shadows. We are all swirling winds. We all contour and scatter. Particles balancing on other particles, the space between particles filled with other particles. In the absence of glue, I'm afraid to break things and afraid to then put them back together. Thanks so much, everyone.
Heather, thank you. Nice reading. Glad to have you as a new regular here at Cobalt. Congrats on your new chapbook, I'm Not Over You. Feel free to, if there's a way to purchase it online, feel free to post a link in the chat. And good luck with your reading in Pasadena, right? This coming Saturday at the library. Well, nice little room there. Don Kingfisher Campbell runs that space. Was just there a few weeks ago myself. Thank you, Heather. Round of applause for Heather. On deck is the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, Siggy, and Chris. Please welcome now Sean Mahoney. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Rick. Hello, everybody. I have two for you tonight. This first one, I don't know what to call it other than like a blurt poem. I saw something, some news, and it just kind of fell out of my mouth. That's the horrible way to describe it. But it is what it is. This is called a refreshing issue. This issue of skin is petty, like a reflection is petty when measured against the Achilles of your left foot or the crisp of your burnt toast or starlight, any shade of green, any litmus of feels. This tissue feels like a test, like a measure of devotion, of enthusiasm over ankle bones arranged as triptych or mural depicting sorrows of young Werther, Mudang, and Phyllis Diller. Hilarious. Issued in suits, faceless people, crosses on thin gold chains around necks. They praise flesh, blood, yet rebuke every fucking word of every fucking sacred text. Fake views, fake reports and fake masculinity, fake democracy, fake save, fake refund, fake voting rights, faux man. Eat a bag of real meaty dicks, you whore. Is that reasonable, somewhat suspicious, or J6 suspicious? Man, that feels good to get out of my system. Thank you for indulging me. I apologize for the profanity. It just, it was one of those days. The second piece is called Anyone You Care About. Early, sun just breaking the horizon when they enter your home asking for papers and the whereabouts of socialists or media, any whispering anti-regime bon mots. Shivers thinking about the weather, wondering of safety. By noon, a push forwards your naked body. By 1, a push outs you as humanitarian. By 2, your vote has been removed and you again prowl steps, bars, bookstores, populated coffee houses. Your time alone, page-turning despair, sorting the knives and slotted spoons for a third time. Press a button, muse over the sin of music, transgressions of the bass, and pester of the hi-hat. Dusk, we're at war, again. This ploy for the weak of stomach, IBS ring bearers, those ashen of heartbreak, asthma, and bulletproof desperation. Hail Caesar, music of bombs, slap of gunfire, bunkers, basements, I want my stomach not to hurt. Stepping back 50 years at least, Munich massacre, Nixon, and our 70s hangover. At twilight, we people broke 4 walls with paint and proclamating execution for those opposed to our narrow concept of freedom land. There is no halfway, no maybe, no compromise, no apologies for drug use or pedophilia. Bring your cars and retirement. Bring fodder, pink tights, blue pantsuits, gorilla glue. We midnight trolls, we burn everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Nice couple of poems. No apology necessary. I hate that when, you're just out in public and a poem falls out, like you're at Chipotle and
And
the
it's naked.
person asks what you
Chipotle.
want and you're trying to get a burrito and then suddenly there's a poem all over the floor and they want to clean it up and you say, no, no, leave it as is. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's just very confusing. So,
I see it's happened to you as well.
yeah. Well, there you go. I enjoyed both of those. Sean, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Cheers. Have a good night, everyone.
Round of applause for Sean Mahoney. Have a mop ready when you're around him. You never know. On deck, Julian Matthews. Please welcome now the collab, Cathabella Wilson, Jackie, Chow, Siggy, Sarah Dunn, and Chris from Morning in Japan. Hello to all of you.
Hi, Rick. Here we are, and we're inner and outer. The way these collabs come together, we start by collecting ideas for the theme of what we're writing. And so this time, I think we had 3 or 4 different ones. And I thought, how can they be put together? But they're really amazing. It's one of the most interesting things, I think. So here we go, inner and outer. Jackie.
Too old to be dolled up. First day of college. Trading my ruffles for a plaid shirt and jeans.
You're a doll, he always said. I wondered, am I Raggedy Ann or his favorite giraffe friend?
Shades of blue. Gunmetal, sky violet, Barbie eyes. I didn't want one that looked like me.
They look just like us. They look just like us. Cathabella and Rick dolls. If we need a little help from ourselves, we have an extra.
Big plans turn to smaller, no, too expensive wedding gown and match their matching purple outfits.
Yeah, no too expensive wedding gown. I think that's what you meant. Can match their matching purple outfits. Chris.
Severe weather for well over a year. Has it been that long since I've eaten outside at my own picnic table?
I love that. I keep it under my flowery hat, the grand souffle, in case we want to go in instead of out for dinner.
Stay at home dining. Cheaper, Mom told us. Tastes better too. No TV dinners in our itsy bitsy fridge.
Big event of grandkids visit. Delightful hours, unrestricted play in the mountain river.
So love that. And Jackie.
Knocking over our glasses of Merlot at a dinner out. Those hilarious days when we had no need to be careful.
Read it again, Jackie.
Knocking over our glasses of Merlot at a dinner out. Those hilarious days when we had no need to be careful.
Perfect. Siggy.
Sturgeon moon ringed in smoky halo. Crickets chirped a song. No streetlights to hinder. Stars can be seen above.
A dirty look in the cardinal's eyes. Photograph. What dark heart dwells beneath its outer beauty?
It's beautiful. Mother squirrel never shows us her babies. They showed off their mating ritual, so let's wait and see for what they share next. There we are, and there's Rick with his flute.
Hi, this is it's modeled on the suling, which is an Indonesian flute of the Sudanese, but it's not really. It's been modified, made special for me. Thank you.
And this is the doll's flute, by the way. His doll has a flute. Sometimes I carry it for him. That's it, everybody.
Thank you guys very much. Were those Cathabella and Rick dolls there?
Yes, they were.
Yes.
They were a gift from a poet. Some years ago, when Rick had his big accident, someone sent them to us, a very nice haiku tanka poet, who had a doll company at the time, and she had her sister make them from pictures of us.
We had to stay. We had the pose for hours.
No, they sent a picture of us to the person, and I just keep them near my computer just in case we need them for anything all the time.
Yeah, you never know when there's going to be a need for one of those. For sure.
Right.
Thank you all. I especially appreciated the saucy way in which you ended, Cathabella. That was fun. As
The
well.
true
Let us know what
story.
develops.
Thank you. True story.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Thank you all. A round of applause for Cathabella, Chris, Siggy, Jackie, and Rick. Well done as always. Thank you guys. All right, moving along. On deck is Jennifer Elise Wang. Please welcome now Julian Matthews. Hello, Julian.
Hi. Keeping with the big event team, I guess. So this was an article about whales going eerily silent, and scientists saying it's a warning sign. Silence of the whales. What do we do when all the whale songs are gone? When we no longer hear their melancholic moan over vast distances, when they stop signaling longings for each other beneath the seas, when their giant larynxes no longer vocalize their complex melodies. What do we do when whales no longer breach the surfaces and make a wow splash? When in their vertical sleep position they sink deeper and deeper into the ocean, never to return. And all the wonder of their heft is but a digital image to be clicked. When the last whale passes and no one cares a dick. Silence can be louder than a hollow bellowing, a spiritual folk song fading and forgotten in time, the missing choir in an empty church, a songbird fallen from its perch. The whales are going silent, men increasingly blaring. We can hardly hear each other over the din. The mixed signals are intentional, noisy betrayal, like the piercing cries of the dying in a losing battle. What of us then when man has gone deaf to nature and all that remains are skeletal frames of magnificent beasts at the bottom of the ocean? Will humanity be beached, barely breathing, on the shore of our own plastic island? Thank you.
Man, it feels like we're more than halfway there, Julian. Thank you for that piece. I love the line, "No one cares a dick," as well. Well done. Thank you for being here, Julian Matthews, reading to us from Malaysia. Cool to have you here as always. Round of applause for Julian. On deck, Michael G. Hickey. Please welcome Jennifer Elise Wang. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, I've got two. The first is a cover from the Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish, translated by Fadi Joda, who is another Palestinian poet. This came to me through Only Poems, which is another place that delivers like poems a day, and I'll put the text that they got from Poetry Foundation. So this is To Our Land by Mahmoud Darwish. To our land, and it is the one near the word of God, a ceiling of clouds. To our land, and it is the one far from the adjectives of nouns, the map of absence. To our land, and it is the one tiny as a sesame seed, a heavenly horizon, and a hidden chasm. To our land, and it is the one poor as a grouse's wings, holy books, and an identity wound. To our land, and it is the one surrounded with torn hills, the ambush of a new past. To our land, and it is a prize of war, the freedom to die from longing and burning. And our land, in its bloodied night, is a jewel that glimmers from the far upon the far and illuminates what's outside it. As for us inside, we suffocate more. And I'll put the text in the chat. And then kind of in the same vein, I've been thinking about Palestine a lot, and unfortunately the lack of response. I wrote this poem, I think last year, and things have not changed. So this is Passive Voice. Even though you are taught to avoid passive voice, it is encouraged here. Partisanship is avoided by passive voice. Culpability is not to be implied, for funding has been granted from those who may be angered at the suggestion. The scientific method is often elucidated in this manner, as results are often obtained, never produced by humans who may be playing God, lowercase here, though that is not to be hinted at either. All pronouns, even the royal we, are to be removed. Judge, juror, and executioner are not to be assigned by implication. It is okay to be saddened by a violent killing, but to feel more for a fallen comrade and be stirred into naming an action is dangerous. Death is to be accepted, no matter how unjust. Sorry if you are offended.
Certainly no need to apologize, Jennifer, when you're speaking the truth. Thank you so much for being here. Round
Thank
of
you.
applause for Jennifer Elise Wang. Well done. On deck, Antonietta Villamil, please welcome now Michael G. Hickey. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Rick, and I like Shockie G. I give you credit for giving me the courage to read this. It's one poem. It's in two parts. I was a college English professor for 30 years. I retired in 2021. Recently, one of my students from 2006, I believe it was, had a birthday. We're still friends on social media. I sent her a Facebook message. And anyway, this poem is called Giving Grief a Place to Go, Part 1. A quarter of a century ago, you're a 19-year-old Mexican woman with chestnut brown hair, sparkling brown eyes, and the cutest dimples when you smile, which is almost nonstop. Your first major English 101 assignment, excuse me, is the narrative essay. Yours is submitted on time, thoughtfully completed, and contains all the required elements: intro, body, conclusion, character, conflict, crisis resolution, thesis. What did you learn from this time in your life when there was a significant conflict? Your 5-page essay, titled The Family Dynamic, starts with your mother's never-ending battle with the bottle. As for your father, proud papa, who with the handlebar mustache, he is clearly your hero until, that is, the previous year when he hung himself from a second-story banister. Then 6 months later, your older brother Enrique did the same thing from the same banister. That was 20 years ago. Fast forward to last Tuesday. I sent a social media greeting on your birthday, and your response is something I can't stop thinking about. Like a new heart reverberating amongst the planets, the fragile planets inside me. Part 2. So this is what she wrote. Mike, I still remember you telling me to put it on paper, to get it out, because if it stayed in my body, it could grow a tumor. You were the first person to give my grief somewhere to go. You didn't just teach me how to write, you gave me permission to survive. I'm still healing because you helped me begin. Thank you. That's it for me.
Mike, thank you. Well done. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. I think we missed you last week.
Yeah, I was in the middle of moving, but boy, it's sure good to be back.
Well, that explains your new space. We keep track of these things, just so you know.
Yeah,
There's a
I heard you
great
worked for ICE. I don't know if that's true.
everything is true. Michael, thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Michael G. Hickey. On deck, Heidi Casa. Please welcome now Antonietta Villamil. Hello, Antonietta.
Hello. Hello. I'm sorry if my cat is in the back crying or like singing. Okay, I have one poem. So glad to be back. Here it goes. Cumbia jazz, cumbia jazz of freedom. Cumbia jazz of freedom. Colibrí de vida, colibrí de tiempo, hasta la victoria, dame de tu vuelo, colibrí valiente, colibrí de madre tierra, hasta la victoria, dame tu poder. If you pay close attention, the blows don't come from outsiders. You can feel them working high in their offices. Sheriff or politician, border patrol or ICE, the bounty hunter. The sicarios are paid to unwitness what we see, what we hear, vanish our young to defend the flag of lives, disappear our children into the shadows behind jails' invisible revolving doors. Our homes, like far away homes, flooding with fire, sink. Our dead, like far flung dead, pour out into the sea of death noise. all deceived by the winding ambush of their face. But we sing, pájaro de fuego, colibrí de tiempo, haz que los sicarios se maten entre ellos. And we dance beyond the schooling of the Americas, avoiding festive agility, the machete's fury of rust just missing our limbs, the barb edge that gleams landing on the granite. We keep our eyes set on the footprints of freedom, firm through the slanted slash of their present, despite the heroism of the fascist, the terrorism of los bushes. In trumping disarray, we tango through the sling of their gaze. We jazz the cumbia dance. Colibrí de vida, colibrí de paz, aunque nos maten, no nos callarán. Colibrí valiente, pájaro de madre tierra, hasta la victoria, dame tu poder. Thank you.
Antonietta, thank you. I guess we didn't get to see you tonight, but we got to hear you, which is great because it's been a long time since you've been in this space. Good to hear your mixture of words and music.
Sorry.
And
I
never.
forgot the camera.
That's okay. Never need to apologize for anything cat, by the way, just so you know. Always welcome. Oh, there you are. Look at that. She really still
Yeah, I
exists.
didn't realize. Okay.
Round of applause for Antonietta Villamil. Thanks so much for being here, Antonietta. Nice to see you again. All right, on deck, Ed Potastic. Please welcome now Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. I have two tonight. The first one is Ashtray on a Motorbike. In interviews, Ozzy admitted past faults with a metaphor, and bits of life felt ashtray and parts were motorbike. The Rev in the Black, except when the heavens opened to give him the first time Beatles. For me, I've just seen a face, twisted the cap off, not she loves you. And Ozzy summoned the words, created a modeled haven, stayed with the feeling, and handed out song companions. So deeply embedded in place and memory, the song a physical presence that can't be photoshopped out. His political truth widening the door to my infamous English class. War pigs glaring out my eyes, resonating from my tapping feet, pulling me through that anchored morning. But which Ozfest burned my scalp and gave me heat stroke? Worth it. Ozzy reminds me again what community means. Live community by holding the thread of connection to your ancestors every time you pick up the guitar, the pen, the microphone. Follow your love. The act of doing the thing itself, embodying the people who came before and those who will arrive later, plugs you in to whispers, shouts, shades of what fits and doesn't, a cloak or dagger, a pink pinwheel, adding your voice to influences, rushing in the susurration of the sea, where there is no ashtray or motorbike, but still a need for defiance. And then I was going to read something else, but then there was a shooting here yesterday, and it was pretty close by, and it was actually at the Target that I always go to, and 3 people unfortunately died, but it also was super close to some of my friends that live there, that live nearby, and one of my neighbors actually, she was going to go, and then she didn't go. She just changed her mind last minute, went to a different target. So we're just kind of like dealing with a lot of stuff here, and there's a lot to process in it. Like it was one of my friends. It was the gunman was apparently like her a friend of hers in high school. So there's so much to unpack here, but so I can't I'm not gonna read anything new like that. But I everyone knows that I've written a lot of anti-gun poems here, so I'm just gonna read an old one. So here it is. Don't say gun. To the children who will be next, don't say gun. To the adults who will be next, don't say male anger. To all of us watching, don't say prevention. To the next shooter, don't say tactical gear. To the walls in the school, don't say you see anything. To the children who are afraid to go to school, don't say for the rest of your life. To the father who says homeschool is the answer, don't say churches, malls, colleges, grocery stores, garlic festivals, synagogues, rallies, country music festivals, temples, streets, bars, mosques, hotel rooms, gas stations, nightclubs, hospitals, parades, cars, bowling alleys, banks, post offices, neighborhoods, newsrooms, homes. To the maps turning redder every day, don't say how town names used to mean something more than blood. To the people who say it's godlessness in schools as if the children deserve it, say that evil humans and ideas kill people, but don't you dare say gun. To everyone in America, don't say what's invisible might kill you. Thank you.
Heidi, thank you for that powerful piece. I'm so sorry that your community went through this, and it's just another one of these things that keeps happening. And yeah, I'm with you. You're the voice of my anti-gun generation, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for that poem, and I hope that you and your friends and the people you know in your community get past this as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Heidi Casa. On deck is Caleb. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed.
Hello, our wonderful host that we love the most, that deserves a toast and never boast. Thank you, Shockie G. Thank you and for your wonderful poetry. All right, my name is Ed Potato, feeling fantastic. Please, it's time to join my rhyme. Thoughtful sublime. I got two pieces, so I'll take too much time. This is called Regret. Friction burn like dopes. Regrets are long ropes. Friction burn like dopes. The shadows knocks. I'm covering blocks. The ghosts are my nightmares, while I sleep with grizzly bears. I'm being rained down by daggers as my psyche starts to stagger. They dance in my mind. My worries aren't behind. Oh, the timeless pain, suffocating in the rain, drenched in inner regret of time I couldn't forget. My body sinking depression. My heart's having a recession. The run is nibbling at me. I'm crying to be set free. The air is going past my lips while the trauma quickly grips. I'm going deeper and deeper. How can I waltz with the reaper? The insomnia keeps me awake, and my fragile skull starts to quake. I'm suffering from my crimson eyes. I pray they could go down in size. I play it back again, over again, yet the inner torment won't end. I try, yet the images won't stop and die. If I could do it over, I would. I would if I think I should. I can't remove those chains, which are squeezing my brain. The pain drilling in my bones while my heart turns to stone. The experience is complete hell. The ringing louder than any bell. I have something to say. You're not stuck in clay. It's okay. We have it. It doesn't have to stick. We aren't easy perfect. Please stop being sick. Don't be in torment. We all have the scent. Regrets aren't our anchors. We are not bound chambers. Please don't be a prisoner going under. Please don't fuel your greedy hunter. Live and learn the give in return. You can rest. You don't have to burn. Thank you. And this other one is called Orange Crown. My painful history is stealing away my dignity. It's not my race, covered in ebony grace. It's a pesky citizenships, immigrants leaving ships. This is not the dream, an asshole feeling supreme. Don't blame the voters, you can blame the stockholders. Greedy as greedy can be, making money off a travesty. He, like any crooked businessman, doing anything for his master plan. What's the point of separating families with much hatred from nationalities? What's the point of pesky tariffs? Yet he keeps avoiding the bailiffs. What's the point of being one-sided? Has your big ego been truly knighted? What's the point of being tough on immigrants? Great impotence shown by co-delinquents. What's the history of your dear grandparents? Oh, your speeches is being vaguely transparent. What's the point of killing the poor Constitution by taking away contributions from the institutions? What's the point of destroying America while extremists snort inner hysteria? I'm trying to hang on to a slither of hope. I know I'm a dope, but I'm trying to cope. Our great grandparents survived the Great Depression. I love to mention we survived the COVID oppression. We will strive to see his reign crumble to the ground. Then we will be the ones with crowns in front of the orange clown. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed Potastic. Enjoy your work and your presence. Fun rhymes for us. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Round of applause for Ed Potastic. Couple more, Caleb, Dig, Wayne, and me to close out the reading. Dig, Wayne, you are on deck. Please welcome now Caleb. Hi, Caleb.
Hello. So I messaged Shockie G and I was like, what are you doing tonight? They were like, I'm doing a reading. So I was like, okay, I'm coming. So thanks for having me. So I'm just going to just do one poem. It's new. I just wrote it. After the third time, I was late to a function because I lost either my wallet, my phone, or my keys in the same week. My partner bought a GPS tracker for all of them. I'll be honest, I haven't lost a phone, a wallet, or a key since. But I wish there was a way to put a tracker on him. Not because he wanders or gets lost, but when your name is Jose Angel Diaz Ortiz, the world hunts. Angel moved here from Puerto Rico, rebuilt his native tongue, borrowed words like broken bricks because survival spoke English and he wanted to answer back. He crossed waters to live on this land, the same land that now wants to drown him. He says ICE was outside his work today. They got a 3,000 person quota to disappear today. He says he wants to carry his passport in his pocket to prove his citizenship today, but ICE says they don't care. ICE isn't just cold. It burns without flame. It leaves frostbite, leaves you numb, turns brown skin blue on this day. ICE doesn't look for papers or reasons. Brown is enough. Accent is enough. In America, freedom has a skin tone, and it's not his because his tongue holds the weight of 3 hurricanes, and he still speaks with enough fire to scare ICE. And to be honest, this scares me too. And I want to bury a beacon beneath his rib cage, not because I don't trust him, but because I don't trust the world that maps his skin like a crime scene. I want to stitch a signal into his spine. I want the sky to track his heartbeat. I want satellites to send me a warning the second his voice goes quiet. I want the world to love him like I do. I don't want justice. I want him here. I want him now. I want him breathing. I want him whole. Because in this country, losing your keys is an inconvenience, but losing a brown body is procedure.
Caleb, pretty stellar introduction to Cobalt Poets to our community. Thank you so much for being here for bringing that poem to us. Please come back and read more for us anytime. Round of applause for Caleb. Well done. Thank you, Shockie, for revealing that this was happening to Caleb, so we could hear that as well. On deck is me to close out the open. Please welcome now Dig Wayne. Hello, Dig.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. Shockie G, I heard you. I got a new one, maybe two new ones. First one's called Cosmos, the eponymous orphan. As the moon finally found its personality and broke character and changed direction, pulled another face out of orbit, I disappeared behind a gas curtain, tightened my Kuiper belt. The sun threatened to report me to the gods of heaven for repeated curfew violations. Calling the sun's bluff, I swallowed the earth, turned on my skills in time to see stepmother nature lift her skirt and call me home. The new moon got sucked into a black hole of vintage space junk from the 1970s. Now all the fickle astro poets are in love with Mercury. Thank you. This one's called Bygones. Regret spoils in recyclable compost prophylactics reanimated from apple cores, banana skirts, strawberry propellers, blueberry stains. Regret waltzes in 3/4 time with tears dripping from memory's cheeks. Should have checked your heart at the door, wiped your feet on love, kept it cheap and one-handed. Lesson learned and burned. Once wide new roads led to halcyon overdoses that would never dead end or put on weight. Regret picks the locks on shame and folly, unleashing debris flow, uprooting truth that fell through the cracks like weeds on the freeway. Thank you.
Dig, thank you. Someone pointed out you're not wearing a hat tonight. I guess we just wanted to know if everything's okay.
It's an emotional choice.
Is it like a happy emotion, like a sad emotion? Like, how are you feeling right now?
Well, if you ask me a personal question, Rick, I had a colonoscopy today. Something you probably really don't want to know about, but I did. And I don't know what that has to do with a hat, but they made me take my hat off when they sodomized me. So maybe it's just a residual. I haven't felt like putting the hat back on.
Yeah, no one would, it's you almost would never wear a hat again after that, I would think. I'm so sorry that happened to you, and I hope the community rallies around you as well, and helps you get through this, Dig.
Thank you so much. I'll write about it, maybe.
Please do, because we'd all like to hear more about it.
I'm sure.
Round of applause for Dig Wayne. Thank you, Dig. All right. I'm going to read a couple of poems to close out tonight's reading. I'm reading from my new book, High Moose Alert, poems written last summer in Vancouver, the Canadian Yukon, and Alaska, and on a boat. This was written in Vancouver. They have a tradition where every night at 9 o'clock, there's a gun that goes off by the on the shore of the harbor there. It's been going on for quite some time. It's someone's job to live in a cabin on Stanley Park, and they're the gun master, and they go and set off the gun every day at 9. They get to live there for free, and then all they have to do is fire a gun once a day. This is called the 9 o'clock gun. Just off to the right of the floating chevron, from how we see it, standing in Canada Place behind the convention center, next to the Cactus Club Cafe, just behind where the Sea Harbor planes land and take off to land wherever there is enough water to do so at a curve on Stanley Island pointed toward downtown Vancouver on unceded land where tall buildings make it not as useful as it may have been, sits the 9 o'clock gun house, where in 12 long minutes a man who lives on that island will leave his home, flip a switch which will lead to a bang, telling anyone who cares and anyone within earshot who may not care that it is 9 o'clock in the evening. This is why we are here in this exact spot to hear this happen, as it has happened, necessarily or unnecessarily, for dozens of years. We're such suckers for tradition. 9 o'clock is coming, and we are here to experience its arrival. All right, that's from my new book. By the way, it went off a couple minutes early, which was very frustrating for all kinds of reasons. The guy has one job. This new one is called, well, it's written for this week's Torah portion. We're getting to the end of the Torah, so get excited about that. We're going to start the whole thing over again in not too long. This is the line of text I'm responding to. Every place upon which the soles of your feet will tread will be yours. Your border will extend from the desert and Lebanon, from the river, the Euphrates River, to the western sea. This poem is called Manapee's Destiny. I'd like to extend my borders even further, from the equator to the North Pole, and then keep going until it hits the south. Let the eastern and western hemispheres be under my purview, so all the continents and all the oceans and all the hidden magnificence between the surface that human beings only suspect exists be rolled into my portfolio. Then, by the laws of real estate, let me declare it all a national park. No, that's not right. An international park. Let's remove the word nation from the vocabulary and call it a world park, free for all to live on and share and observe the new laws of kindness that will govern the new super territory Earth. The laws of kindness will extend to how we inhabit the planet too. We'll acknowledge the wind and sunlight and our friends. Trees too, they're the best. Let us forget the words sword and gun. Let the words missile and proprietary get replaced by the missing bees. These are the new borders I declare. Manapee's destiny. All rivers lead to home. Oh, yeah. Responding to Jewish text in poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fine evening we had here. I want to thank Shockie G for being a fantastic featured reader in what she brought to us, as well as the number of people who came to see her read. Always great to have new people here. Shockie, you were fantastic. I've pasted the stuff in the chat room again that I pasted earlier. You can tip Shockie for her reading via the Cash App link that's there, or directly on her website. There's a donate button there. If you scroll down at the link that's right there. There's also things to purchase, including a book and other kinds of things. So there's lots of ways to directly communicate to Shockie that you really dug her work in a way that can be tangible. For us poets who sometimes struggle for tangible things, you can download the broadside for Shockie's poem there at that link, also in the chat. When you're there on the Cobalt Poets website, on that page, you can see all of the broadsides ever published. You can click on calendar to see who is coming up next. As I mentioned earlier, Todd Robinson will be here next week, in addition to our open reading. And if you're not already on the list, or if you're new here and want to make sure you get a reminder in the Zoom link, please, you can click on email list there and add your email to it. And you'll get a couple emails a week reminding you about the reading, who's featuring, as well as a convenient Zoom link you can kick on. It's not right. Everyone take off an item of clothing. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything for tonight. I'm going to click on Ask All to unmute, so feel free to interact.
I have to say, I think the aliens have kidnapped Linda V. Crawford and replaced her with something similar, but not really her.
I'm sitting in an odd location. What can I say? I can't even get the lighting
These
right.
blue eyes. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
Listen, if you can go without a hat, I can be blue eyes in the dark. There you go.
Okay. I'm just saying. I just noticed it.
Wow.
Great readings,
Great work,
everybody.
everyone. Have a good night, all.
Good.
Oh, take hope
Good
you're.
night. Love
Thank
you.
you so much.
Great. You're awesome. Take care.
Good
Ciao,
night.
ciao.
Take care. Blue eyes in the dark.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, or good afternoon, or whatever it is. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye,
Bye.
Antonietta. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, everyone. And Rick, congratulations for your book. Thank you.
Thanks. Moose. All right, I'll see you around. Don't be as